All right, everybody, welcome on into another episode of the Winning Bets. Thanks for having me and coming along for today's ride. I'm your host, Jason Mattis. You can find me out on Twitter at Lock of the Day One. That's at Lock of the Day One. As we did yesterday, we're going to stick with some of the fantasy games that we play as they're approaching the NFL draft. Yesterday, we did the Fox Bet Super 6 NFL Draft Challenge. Well, today Yahoo's got one. Yahoo Sports Fantasy has an NFL Draft Challenge, and theirs is a $2,000 prize. Works just as similar as all the other games out there. All the people that correctly answer all the questions, they get to split the $2,000 prize. This one's focused solely on the first round. Some of the questions they're a little bit similar to the Fox Sport Bet, but they're worded different. So a little bit of different strategy and some thinking here with this Fox Sports games. So let's get on into it. I think they've got, glance down here, about 10 or so questions. We'll go ahead and run through them, and let's get some winning bets placed on the Yahoo Sports NFL Draft Challenge, and let's share this $2,000 together. The first question is, will Tua be drafted in the first three picks? Simple yes or no for this question. I went ahead and selected no. We all know Burrow's going one. There's been some discussion lately on whether or not the Redskins are going to go ahead and trade out of number two. I just can't see that happening. I think you are going to add the best pass rusher in the NFL. Those are hard to come by. The only way you get top level pass rushers in the NFL is you either draft them or you have to overpay in the free agent market to acquire that player and rip them away from another team. Here's an opportunity where you can go ahead and draft have the guy under your control for the next 5 seasons. So no way the Redskins will pass up an opportunity to draft Chase Young. And then the third overall pick, going to the Detroit Lions. Once again, lots of rumors out there. Are they going to trade this pick? I think at the end of the day, they sit at number 3. They make a selection, and that's going to be Okunda, the cornerback out of Ohio State. So I've got no, will Tua be drafted in the first 3 picks? The next question that Yahoo Sports is asking is how many quarterbacks are going to be drafted in the first round? You've got 3 or less, 4, or 5 or more. Well, we know Burrow, Tua, and Herbert are going in the first round. There's no doubt about that. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who's going to disagree with that opinion. So now it's going to come down to that 4 or 5 or more option. You've got Jordan Love. You're talking about a group that includes Jordan Love, Jake Fromm, or Jacob Eason. Those are the 3 quarterbacks that are going to swing this question in your favor, depending on how you answer it. I went ahead and selected 4. I think Jordan Love does get drafted in the first round. I think that drop off between Jordan Love and Jake Fromm is a pretty substantial gap in the talent viewers. I do like Jake Fromm, though. He would be my next quarterback that would gonna go. I love him out of Georgia. He seems like he'd be a really good NFL quarterback. I just can't see him quite going in the first round, but I do think there's going to be a team that either takes Jordan Love late in the first round, or maybe that theory that teams always do where they want to trade back up in the first round so they have that extra year of control on the player. So I've got Jordan Love going in the first round, so I'm answering that question at 4. The next question they have going is how many wide receivers will be drafted in the first round? This one I've got, they've got 4 or less, 5 or 6 or more. We know Judy's going in the first round. We know Lamb's going. We know Ruggs is going. You know Jefferson's going. Probably know T. Higgins is going. And we probably know that Brandon Ayuk is also going. So there's 6 right there. So I went ahead and selected 6 or more. They say it's a deep wide receiver, class. So maybe that makes teams think they're a little bit hesitant. They could find that wide receiver in the second round. But I think those 6 guys, possibly even a 7th guy, are the top premier pass catchers in this draft, and you're going to want to get one of those guys rather than settling on the next of the best bunch. So go ahead and take that one at 6 or more. Next question is, will the Redskins select Chase Young? I've already gone over that, so I've obviously on yes on that question. I think they go ahead and draft Chase Young. The over-under at 16.5 defensive players taken in this draft. All right, so I told you guys on yesterday's pod I studied about 15 to 20 mock drafts. And in those mock drafts, it's either about 16 defensive players, 15 defensive players. It's a little bit more, obviously, than heavy on the offensive, only by 1 or 2. You're not talking that substantial when there's only 32 selections to be had in the first round. Only 2 mock drafts that I came across had more defensive players than offensive players selected. So that means there was at least 17 more in that scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and take the under just out of the sheer number of mock drafts that I've studied over the past few weeks. Take the under of 16.5 defensive players taken in the draft. Next question is, will New England trade down from the 23rd pick? Not trade. They've got a caveat there of trading down. I don't think the New England Patriots trade down. This is a team that needs to add some top-level talent, to that team. They're not just one quarterback away. They need more than the quarterback position, as we saw. They lack a lot of positions. They need to get the best top player that they can get. If anything, I could see them trading up. I don't see them trading down, which is how this question is worded. So I've got that one selected no. How many 2020 first-round picks will get traded in the first round? Normally, when teams trade in the first round, they each are going to be trading their first-round picks. So in that scenario, we would only need 2 trades to happen because they're asking in this question, is it going to be 3 or less or 4 or more? There's a lot of uncertainty always with the NFL draft. I'll go ahead and take the chance that there's going to be 2 trades in this first round that involve 4 first-round picks. So give me 4 or more for that one. Who's going to be the first wide receiver drafted? Talked about it on yesterday's podcast for the Fox Bet Super 6 contest. I think CeeDee Lamb, he's the fastest of this bunch, and I think teams always fall in love with speed and trying to get those players in open space so they can make plays. So I've got CeeDee Lamb as the first wide receiver going to be taken in this draft. Will a running back be chosen in the first round? I don't think there's going to be. You're only talking 2 candidates, and Jonathan Taylor and DeAndre Swift. It's more likely DeAndre Swift, I believe, because of his ability to catch the ball and make more plays out of the backfield than Jonathan Taylor. But I just don't see the running back going in the first round. If it does happen, you're going to be going into the 30, 31, I think 32 picks on edge right there, depending on how you picked it. I went ahead and said no. Why don't you go ahead and say no? Let's do this thing together. And then the last question they've got is, which team will have more players drafted in the first round? Alabama, LSU tie. Once again, I fall back here on my research on this and the mock drafts that I've studied in that 15 to 20 range of those mock drafts. And LSU was heavier by 1. It was usually 6 or 7 to 5 or 6 Alabama players. And then also there were plenty of times where the numbers were the same. So I'm going to go ahead and take tie this one and see if hopefully the number of Alabama and LSU players selected will be a tie. So those are the questions they're asking. This is, again, on the Yahoo Sports Fantasy app. You have a chance to win $2,000. There's currently a little shy of under 17,000 people that are playing. Yesterday, we recorded yesterday's episode for the Fox Bet Super 6. There were 40,000 entries into that one. So this one's just under 17,000. Of course, it'll go ahead and tick up, but we'll go ahead and get your picks locked in. I will say, as yesterday's, none of these picks locked until Thursday. So as news and rumors and all that develops, we can change these picks up until Thursday evening. So give me a subscribe, give me a follow, and I'll make another video if there's other news and developments that are happening, and we can go ahead and modify these picks if need be. So let's recap it. Will Tua be drafted in the first 3 picks? I've got no. How many quarterbacks will be drafted in the first round? Take 4. How many wide receivers in the first round? I've got 6 or more. The Redskins will select Chase Young. I've got the under at 16.5 defensive players. Will New England trade down from the 23rd pick? I don't think so. How many first round picks will get traded in this first round? I've got it at 4 or more. The first wide receiver being drafted is going to be CeeDee Lamb. I've got no running back being taken in the first round, and I've got a tie between LSU and Alabama players being drafted in the first round. All right, don't forget, I'm your host, Jason Mattis. You can find me at Twitter on @LockOfTheDay1. That's @LockOfTheDay1. And this has been the Yahoo Sports NFL Draft Challenge. Making our picks here on the winning bets. Stay with me because we'll see if we modify these. And then tomorrow we've got another video coming. There's another challenge. We've done the Fox Bet Super 6. This one's the Yahoo Sports. There's a third contest tomorrow for $100,000. We'll make our picks for that game tomorrow. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. And we'll see you on the next one.